Yo, what is going on, your boy Anubis, the Game Archer here with a brand new video for you guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you're at in the world. Today, I'm going to do a video to just do like an overview discussion of Miss Marvel. The season finale is out today. Today is Wednesday, so I'm recording this. I literally woke up this morning at like 7 o'clock, put on Miss Marvel, watched it, and here we are. Like, just here we are, and I want to talk about it. Like, and this won't be one of those deep dive videos where we go like by episode, just like an overall how I'm feeling about the show, how I'm feeling about the character, how I'm feeling how the show ended, and where do I see things in the future when it comes to the property of the Marvels. There's a movie coming out called The Marvels where it's going to have Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, and Spectrum. Is she even go by Spectrum yet? I don't think she's called Spectrum yet, but Spectrum, Monica Rambeau. Anyways, for those who just give a little background, some of y'all might not know about me when it comes to comic books. This is primarily a gaming channel. I do have a comic book channel, but I've kind of decided not to do 3 channels. Because, like, for those who don't know, I've had 3 channels. One that was about archery, well, one's about sports more so than anything else. One is about gaming, which is this channel, and then one about comic books, which is, I might move a lot of those comic book discussions over to here on the main channel. We'll see. But I'm a big comic book fan, and one of the things that you should know about me is that my second favorite comic book character all time is Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. My first favorite character is Gambit. So apparently I like the ones who aren't as popular. Well, but Gambit's pretty popular, I'll say, to be honest with you. But I feel like a lot of people usually when it comes to like their favorite characters, it's always like the obvious ones like Iron Man, Spider-Man, Batman, Superman, those characters, Wolverine. But for me, it's Gambit and Captain Marvel. So I'm invested in the name Miss Marvel because Captain Marvel was originally Miss Marvel. Then that torch got passed on to Kamala Khan. Anyways, when it comes to this show, just want to get that out there so people know that there is a hint of bias when it comes to my opinion of the character Captain Marvel. So for all you out there who hate Brie Larson, who hate Captain Marvel, just know we don't do that here. I love Brie Larson. Brie Larson has been someone who I've thought of being a great actress ever since she was in that Disney Channel racing show movie. Was like Right Side of the Track. I don't remember what it's called, but ever since then to now, she's been one of my favorite actresses. So I love Brie Larson. I enjoyed the Captain Marvel movie. I thought it was vanilla as hell, but being vanilla doesn't necessarily mean bad. It just means that there was no stakes and it was just a good movie to watch, not a good movie to like be like, all right, this is amazing. This villain was this great. It's kind of like the first Wonder movie. The first Wonder movie was like really good, and it was very vanilla, but it wasn't like bad. Anyways, we're getting on a tangent. This isn't a video with a script, so I need to like get into my zen moment. We're a content creator, be professional. Miss Marvel, it's a good show. Okay, like I want to say that the first. I want to call it a good show before I say anything else. And not in a way of, oh, here we go, we're going to have this guy sit here and tear down this TV show and go on a rant about the MCU and all these things. Actually, no. I want to get out that it's a good show because I feel like a lot of people haven't watched it yet because they don't know if they should. They don't know if they want to watch it. I will say this as a 30-year-old black male with Native American heritage as well, that the show will be hard for you to connect with on a personal level, but that's okay. I feel like people should stop trying to connect with every single TV show and every single movie and every single video game on a personal level. Stop. It's okay for things to not be for you as an individual person. And some things have to be for other people. Marvel is for everyone. It's not just for adult males. It's not just for adult females. It's just not for white people. It's not just for black people. It's not just for Latinos or Asians. It's for everyone. And so to get that encompass of everyone, you need a character and other characters who other people and other groups people can relate to. And one of the things that I've seen on Twitter, there's someone who I follow, who name I won't say because it's not someone I know personally. So I'm not going to like throw her out there, but she is of Pakistani descent, and she really loves the show because she has not seen something like this where someone like her is represented on a TV show, especially in a positive light. Because usually when it comes to people of Middle Eastern origin, people who are of Southeast Asian origin, they tend to not be, shown in a positive manner in Western society when it comes to TV shows and movies or video games. So seeing this character isn't just for this person who I'm referring to, but millions of little girls who are superhero fans who get to see a character who they can relate to. It's not about who I can relate to. I have people who I can relate to. There's a number of Black and Native American heroes in DC and Marvel and across the entire spectrum of entertainment that I can relate to. So this is a character for them to relate to, and that's okay. I shouldn't be sitting here complaining about I can't relate to a 16-year-old Pakistani girl from New Jersey. I shouldn't. I'm 30 years old. I don't need to relate to a teenager. So with that said, this is a show that is kind of aimed towards a teenage crowd. And if you're a teenager, you should watch it. If you're an adult, you should also watch it because it's an overall good show. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of twists, a lot of turns, not in like, plot twists, or not like, oh my God, that just happened. But like the twists and turns that it has are in a way that doesn't make it seem like a normal TV show. Because in normal TV show, there's like the obvious villains and things like that. There's the act 1, act 2, act 3 of how a movie goes, and this show has like perceived villains who aren't necessarily like actual villains, but just perceived villains. They're this video, by the way, will have spoilers. It won't have a lot, but when it comes to the season finale, there's going to be 2 major spoilers that I'm going to mention, and this is your spoiler warning right now. I'm not going to mention it again later. This is your spoiler warning. We're going to talk about some actual key details in a second and later in the video that involves the actual ending of the show. But anyways, that's your warning. Ready? All right. So when it comes to the villains of the show, the reason why they're doing what they're doing is they just want to go home. And it's understandable. If you're in a situation where you just want to get home, whatever someone who's in leadership tells you will lead you to getting home, you're gonna generally follow it. Like, even if it's moralistically bad, your goal is still to just get to your home. That's what you want. Their goal is, I want to go home. I want to see my family. I don't want to be here. This is our leader. Our leader says this is the way to do it. The leader says this is safe. I don't know this little girl, so therefore I don't know if she's lying or telling the truth about how dangerous it is. I just know that my leader is saying this is how we got to do it. This is what we're going to do. So it's like one of them things where you can look at that and be like, all right, they're technically the villain, but they're not necessarily an actual villain. And then there's like another group of people who are like these special, task force within with the law enforcement, who are like the actual villains of the TV series. And even when it comes to like them, is kind of like they're just law enforcement. Like if you are someone who is a person of color and you see law enforcement, you kind of get that thought process of like they're going to be overly aggressive, because that's just how they actually are in real life. They're overly aggressive when it comes to dealing with people of color. And and I can't relate personally to how someone who's of Arabic descent or Muslim I can't relate to that. I can't relate to their interactions with law enforcement, because I'm not someone who's of Southeast Asian, or I'm not an Arabic person, not a Muslim person. I can't relate to their struggles, but I can see it and understand it. That's kind of what I should say. We can't relate to other people, but we can understand other people, and I'm not gonna go like on the tangent about things like that, but just generally. And I feel like a lot of the things here, this TV show is actually like well thought out and really good. I think the actress who plays Miss Marvel is really good as well. I think the transition they have of her and her powers, and the transition of the powers themselves when it comes to it being different in the MCU than it is in the comics, and people like to it should be truthful to the to the comics. The MCU is its own universe and does its own thing. And I think that's good. I said before when it came to the Halo TV series, which watch those videos if you want to. Whereas I said that it's okay for a TV show or movie to deviate from the source, because I've already read the comic book. I've already seen the cartoon, or not cartoon from Miss Marvel, but like Halo. We're going to refer to Halo. I've already seen the Halo animated series. I've already seen Halo video games. I've already seen the Halo Nightfall series. I've already seen everything Halo related. I don't need the Halo TV show to also be the exact same thing as those things that I've already witnessed. When it comes to this TV show, I've played video games that have Kamala Khan in it. I've seen the comics with Kamala Khan in them. I don't need to have the exact same experience that I had in the comics with the TV show because they're different material. I want a new story. I want something different. And the things that they did change up aren't big things. And like it's also, it makes sense when it comes to MCU. What I've noticed, at least, is that there's a lot of streamlining of things, as in they want things to be equal with each other when it comes to naming and when it comes to character arcs. And we have the movie coming out called The Marvels. They want to have all three of the major characters, Monica Rambeau, Carol Danvers, and Kamala Khan, being somewhat similar to some kind of degree. And when it comes to Kamala's powers, them being cosmic. Who else has cosmic powers? Carol Danvers, who also has cosmic powers to some kind of degree. Monica Rambeau. So it makes sense that they want to have this streamlined of these people have similar powers, so therefore, we're both in movies together, even though just generally they're, they have relation just via, the pantheon of Marvel, and, Miss Marvel becoming Captain Marvel, and then Captain Marvel passing that torch down to Kamala Khan. We're not going to go into like the whole history of, Captain Marvel and Miss Marvel and Kamala Khan and, all of those things. I just want to like generally just say that I understand Kevin Feige and Marvel wanted to change things to where there's creative freedom for the MCU. That's generally what it is. The MCU has creative freedom, and it shows in this show on how free they're going to be with it, because at the end of the season finale, again, spoiler warning, the character Bruno kind of hints that Kamala is, what's that word? Trying to see how I can say this without it sounding crazy, or mutant. That's the word. That's we're looking for, the word mutant. He literally says the words, "There's something wrong with your genetics. There's a mutation." Those are his exact words, and I feel like a lot of people in the Marvel community will be divided. You're going to people who are like, we got our first mutant, because there hasn't been anyone who's been called a mutant technically in the MCU. There's some people who are going to be like, this is stupid. She's an Inhuman, not a mutant. And remember when I said about streamlining? I think Kevin Feige might be wanting to combine the Inhumans and mutants into just being mutants. Because if you think about it, even though their origins are different, the mutants were created by the Celestials doing some experiments, and the Inhumans. These are just brief, summarizations of how each faction was created, not full detail. But Celestials did some funky shit, made mutants. Then the Kree did funky shit. Rephrase that. Celestials did funky shit, made mutants. The Kree, the blue people, they did some funky shit, and they made the Inhumans. So basically, both these human factions of people who have mutations were made by other creatures. Inhumans made by Kree, mutants, Celestials. That's all you need to know. I think it makes more sense if you're Kevin Feige and MCU, you want to have all these things be streamlined, and everything when it comes to Marvel, understand this has to be for people who are casuals to understand the material. So therefore, you don't want people who are is mom and pop who are in their 40s and they're taking their kids to go see a Marvel film. The casual audience who are going to the theater, you don't want them being like, what's the difference between a mutant and an Inhuman? And like, this would be like where Rob Jefferson goes, well, one's lame and one's not, because Rob Jefferson thinks the Inhumans are lame. So I feel like for Kevin Feige, and again going with that whole thing of streamlining things, it does make sense to want to combine Inhumans and mutants to be the exact same thing, and probably have the exact same origin. So it won't be the Kree who creates Inhumans. It would just probably have to be the exact same way, where there's just mutants, no Inhumans, and the mutants might have a different origin than the Celestials doing some funky shit. So you get that power bomb of a one-liner from Bruno where he says, there's something wrong with your genes, there's a mutation there. And then Kamala makes like a comment about it's just another label, because the whole thought process of someone who's of her ethnicity and of her religion being given all these labels by American society. So she's just like, just another label when it comes to being told that she has this genetic issue and mutations and things like that. So I think that's going to be like one of the big talking points on Ms. Marvel being called basically a mutant. The other thing is, so far generally there isn't post-credit scenes for a lot of the TV shows on Disney Plus. this is just generally comes to like most stuff. Like they don't do every episode has a post credit scene, but the season finale has a post credit scene, and that post credit scene for season finale is really good because it basically leads into the Marvels. And a lot of people wondered, do they have to watch this TV series to understand the movies? They probably would do some kind of like flashback in movies to just like, you know, summarize things up. But the ending for the post-credit scene for this TV show, Miss Marvel, does lead directly into the Marvels, because there's an appearance of a character at the end of the show in the post-credit scene that kind of like just, you know, is obvious. And I think this was actually, they did it in a good way. A lot of people was hoping that the show would end with Carol Danvers. People was like, it would be weird to not have her appear at all on the show, because Miss Marvel is a huge fan of Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel used to be called Miss Marvel. It would just be weird to not have Carol Danvers in the show. Again, spoiler alert, been telling you that for a while. She's in the show. She's post-credit scene. And it's not what people thought it would be. It's not like she's there talking to Kamala and all that kind of stuff. But she appears, and it's like, all right, so they understood. They understood the assignment. They understood that fans wanted to see Carol in the show, and she's there. So it was like, I was so excited. Like I said, Captain Marvel's my second favorite hero in all of comics. You know, like literally my top three: Gambit, Captain Marvel, Supergirl. Fight me, I don't care. Kiss my ass. You know, look, I like a lot of heroes, but those are my top three. And so I was excited. I was happy to see Brie Larson, happy to see Carol Danvers, and when it had the ending, Miss Marvel will appear in the Marvels, and I was like, nice. Already knew that. We already knew that she was gonna be in the Marvels, so that's nothing new when it came to them having that little text on the screen. Just overall though, I do want to like not have this video be too long, so almost close to 20 minutes. It's a good show. Like if I gave it a score, I know like I hate scores. I personally hate scores. I think like they're really subjective and can be taken out of context in a lot of ways. You know, if you give like a movie that's generally viewed as like Oscar quality, like a 6, and you give like Transformers an 8, which I would never do. People are like, "Oh, you're calling Transformers better than this Oscar movie," and it's like, not really. It's just, you know, the criteria on like what they're trying to do. Like one's something that's story driven, and one's an action movie. Anyways, we're getting on a tangent. When it comes to the show, I would say it's about a 6, maybe a 7 when it comes to like the overall show itself. It's a good show. It's a one-time watch for me personally. I think it's a good show. It's not amazing. You know, there's obviously like some things that, you know, I would personally want to see differently in terms of, you know, the not the action itself, but like some of the story decisions when it comes to the Jins and the clandestines as a whole, and you know what happens with Wakam Ron, and you know there not being a clear cut, you know, overarching villain in the show, and you know there not being Inhumans in the show entirely. Like again, you know, Miss Marvel is an Inhuman, so that not being a presence in the show, and again they seem to make her mutant instead of the Inhuman. You know, I was looking forward to potentially seeing Black Bolt and all these other things, like, or any kind of thing that points towards the Inhumans, and didn't get that. But outside of that, I think it's a watchable, good show. I actually feel like it seemed like a Saturday morning TV show. Like, I don't know how many of y'all like are old enough to remember those Saturday morning cartoons. I'm not calling it a cartoon, but it seemed kind of like that when it came to like how I felt at the end of the season finale. It felt like I was watching you know, a Saturday morning, or something on Freeform or Disney Channel when it comes to, you know, a teen TV show. And that's generally what it is. It's generally a teen TV show. She's like 15, 16 years old, high school. You know, you shouldn't expect this kind of character, or this kind of you know, just general summarization of the character to be someone who you can relate to when you're an adult male. And I feel like people should be understanding that, like, it's okay for it not to be for you. You don't have to trash it. Like, if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you watched the entire series and you didn't like it, cool. But if your issues with it is because you can relate to it, if your issues with it is because you don't want to watch a teen drama or anything like that, then you shouldn't have watched it to begin with. But anyways, that's all this is. This is video. Thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoy. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe. Because I'm the boy Anubis. I'm out of here. Y'all be good. Deuces.